The episode begins inside Yuji's body, where Sukuna is sitting and warns him not to intrude without permission because he doesn't like it. Yuji angrily replies, planning to attack because Sukuna killed him. Sukuna argues he healed Yuji's hand, but Yuji reminds him he also ripped his heart out right after. As Yuji attacks, Sukuna easily dodges and pins him down, explaining they are in Sukuna's inner domain, meaning they aren't dead yet. He offers Yuji a deal. He'll fix his heart if Yuji agrees to 2 conditions. Let Sukuna take control for 1 minute when he says extension and forget about the deal. Yuji refuses, but Sukuna insists it's a binding contract that punishes him if broken. Eventually, Yuji agrees, and Sukuna leaves. Back in the real world, Gojo reflects on his role as a teacher and why he teaches. He wants to reform the corrupt Jujutsu society with strong allies. Meanwhile, Yuji wakes up shocking everyone. Later, Gojo starts training Yuji to control cursed energy by watching movies with a cursed doll that punches him if his energy drops. At the same time, Megumi reflects on his own talents and training. And the episode ends with someone launching a surprise attack on Gojo. The next episode begins with Gojo riding in a car with Ijichi, discussing his appointment with the principal. Gojo steps out midway and asks Ijichi to stay back, hinting at a test. Suddenly, Jogo attacks him with a surprise volcano-based cursed technique, engulfing the area in flames. But Gojo emerges unharmed. Gojo explains the concept of infinity, a technique that slows down objects as they approach him, making it seem like he's untouchable. When Jogo tries to touch him, his hand stops mid-air. Gojo then counterattacks with immense cursed energy, launching Jogo into the trees. Jogo tries to trap Gojo using domain expansion, Coffin of the Iron Mountain, but Gojo calmly activates his own domain, showcasing the overwhelming difference in power. Gojo's domain paralyzes Jogo with an infinite stream of sensory input, ending with Gojo ripping off his head. He brings Yuji into the battlefield briefly to observe high-level Jujutsu combat, surprising Jogo, who's barely alive. Meanwhile, Geto and Hanami discuss their next move. After the battle, Gojo begins intense training with Yuji, making him watch movies with a cursed doll that attacks if his cursed energy drops. The episode ends as the villains regroup, planning their next strike for October 31st in Shibuya. The next episode begins with Megumi and Nobara standing near a vending machine, while Panda and Maki discuss the absence of the first years. Panda brings up that today is the day the Kyoto school principal is visiting to discuss the exchange event, and it's suspicious that first years were sent on a special grade mission just before that. Meanwhile, students from Kyoto arrive, including Todo and Mai, who immediately belittle the Tokyo students. Todo confronts Megumi, asking what type of women he likes, and when Megumi gives a modest answer, Todo calls him boring and attacks him, sending him flying. As Nobara tries to intervene, Mai mocks her and challenges Maki, questioning her lack of cursed energy and cursed technique. The scene shifts between intense battles and snide remarks until Panda intervenes, and Todo walks away saying this won't be boring. Later, Gojo confronts Principal Gakuganji, accusing him of being involved in the plot to eliminate Yuji. Gojo asserts that the new generation is growing stronger and can't be restrained by outdated traditions. The episode ends with Mahito in a dark alley being approached by someone who suspects him of being involved in a theater massacre, to which Mahito responds with a chilling smile as he becomes visible to the boy. The next episode begins with a high school student named Junpei being bullied for looking at a girl, who falsely accuses him of staring. After being hit by another student, Junpei reflects on how he'd gladly press a button to kill everyone who dislikes him. Later at a movie theater, Junpei witnesses a strange man named Mahito killing 3 noisy students by deforming their bodies. Traumatized, Junpei runs out, questioning if Mahito is even human. Mahito then appears in front of Junpei and begins a twisted conversation about hatred and human nature. Meanwhile, Nanami and Yuji are investigating the incident and find residual traces of cursed energy. Nanami explains how leftover marks from cursed techniques can be sensed. As they trace the energy, they split up, and Yuji engages a cursed spirit. Nanami reveals his ratio technique, allowing him to create weak points on his opponent. Yuji surprises Nanami by unleashing a powerful attack called Divergent Fist. They soon realize the curse they fought used to be human, modified by someone's cursed technique. Mahito later tells Junpei he was born from human hatred. The episode ends with Nanami instructing Yuji and Ijichi to investigate Junpei further, suspecting a dark connection between him and recent incidents. The episode begins with Junpei and his friend discussing movies in a club room when a group of bullies barges in, claiming the room is theirs. Junpei tries to reason, but they knock over his DVDs and physically assault him while one of his friends tells him to leave it. Later, in Mahito's lair, Junpei watches as Mahito experiments with human bodies, reshaping one to be huge and another to be tiny. When Junpei asks if those were really people, Mahito casually confirms and explains that he can manipulate souls. He argues that emotions come from the soul, not the heart, and that souls precede the body, making him capable of altering one's physical form by changing their soul. Mahito tells Junpei that life has no intrinsic value, and he is free to live, and kill as he pleases. Meanwhile, Yuji and Ijichi are surveilling Junpei, suspecting he may be involved with the recent curse activity. They plan to test him with weak fly-head curses. If Junpei can't see them, they'll leave him. If he can see and exorcise them, they'll detain him. Meanwhile, Nanami confronts Mahito in the sewers. The two battle fiercely as Mahito transforms his body to counter Nanami's technique, which targets weak points on an opponent using precise cursed energy. Nanami injures Mahito's arm, but Mahito retaliates with his idle transfiguration technique, shifting the shape of his own soul. As the fight continues, Mahito claims that the soul defines the body's shape, not the other way around. Back at school, Junpei is told by a teacher that his classmates who bullied him are dead, prompting twisted satisfaction in him. Just as Junpei is about to use cursed energy on the teacher, Yuji intervenes, dragging Junpei away and trying to connect with him. He jokes and distracts Junpei by pulling down his pants in front of everyone, diffusing the situation with humor and surprising agility. Later, Nanami finds himself overwhelmed in his battle. Mahito mocks him and pushes him to his limits. Just as Mahito believes Nanami is finished, Nanami calmly checks his watch, realizes it's past 6 p.m., his official work hours, and unleashes his full power, stating that from now on, he's working overtime. Meanwhile, Junpei seems to grow closer to Yuji, while Mahito continues evolving his technique and understanding of manipulating humans, leaving the outcome of the next confrontation uncertain. The episode ends with the promise of an intense battle, as Nanami powers up to continue his brutal fight against Mahito, showing that the stakes are rising and every sorcerer is being pushed to their limits in the face of growing curse threats.